The Money in the Bank continued to take shape this week as Trish and Raquel Rodriguez competed in a qualifying match for the women's Money in the Bank match. Rhea Ripley faced Natalya in a Night of Champions rematch, and Matt Riddle battled Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium. We also saw Logan Paul make his return to WWE to set up his next storyline. Let's take a look at what went down on tonight's show, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the phenom Michael Bullock. Of course, Mr. Bullock and I, fresh off another one of our delightful and legendary Raw chats as always. And, well, hate to say it, but a stinker of a show tonight, if I'm going to be honest with you. But, as we always do, we'll get into the relevant stuff. And there was some relevant stuff on this show here tonight. But let's get right to it. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, formerly the Gund Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, on the USA Network. And you thought we couldn't start the show off any better, because who came out to start it off? The World Heavyweight Champion himself, Seth freaking Rollins. Whoa. But unfortunately, it was not a time for song and dance, unfortunately, because Finn Balor came out and absolutely knocked him, absolutely beat the holy you-know-what out of Seth freaking Rollins. And Finn Balor was like a man possessed. And whoa, okay. All right, so I'll say it like this. Good angle. It was a good angle to start to put heat on Finn Balor out of the box. It started a little rough, as it seemed like Rollins had to stand and wait longer than he should have for Balor to finally enter the ring and attack him. Otherwise, it was a good angle. And that's really all there was to say on that. So, Finn Balor looked like a man possessed, guys. There's no question about it. And yeah, he's waited 7 years he waited for 7 years to take out all that frustration on Seth freaking Rollins. After how Seth freaking Rollins injured him in the SummerSlam match, which led to Finn Balor relinquishing the Universal Championship the next night on Raw. So, but man. And then we had the Miz. The Miz came out, and he was whining and crying about something, and then, he says, "I'm going to have an open challenge of my own." And who answered that open challenge? Well, good old MF Michael Fletcher. I think you'll be very pleased with this. Your boy, the Sicilian psychopath, Tommaso Ciampa. And Tommaso Ciampa wins the match in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And, well, obviously, this obviously was, a 2-star or so, whatever. The Miz was able to get in a little bit of offense, but Ciampa dominated most of the match. It was the former NXT champion's return after months away. So this match was designed more to remind people who he is than steal the show. Ciampa scored the win with the fairy tale ending to wrap up a short but solid match. Ciampa looked good, and the Miz is always great at putting others over. And Ciampa had a huge smile on his face. You could see he was really happy to be back. And that's really all there was to say about that. So, Tommaso Ciampa. Now,
and it's not just the name, but his theme is back. Now, this is the Tommaso Ciampa that we all know and love.
One of my buddies uses his theme, then No One Will Survive, as of his theme in WWE 2K23. To know that he's back with that theme, I am absolutely through the moon. This is absolutely what we needed. This was what we were looking for. You know what? When there were rumors that he was coming back soon, we didn't know when. We knew that he was coming back. Tonight was the night. He looked amazing. He looked good. Once you heard the No One Will Survive, I was like, oh no. And sure enough, it was. So I was excited about that. I think me and Florio and Bullock would have had a great commentary moment with the beatdown on Finn Balor, with the Balor beatdown on Seth Rollins. Me being the heel commentator of the group, I would have ate it up. Oh, I would have loved it. I would have mocked the Seth Rollins song. I would have mocked them while Balor's beating him up. I'm like, where's the chanting? Where's that? Oh, where's all that garbage, huh? Where is it? I was like, Balor went a dark place. It's like he went demon mode tonight. I love it.
And then you could have, and then MF would you could have followed that up and say, Florio, Bullock, why the long faces, gentlemen?
Yeah. I think what's wrong? This is a glorious night. I'm having so much fun in this shithole, in this crap town.
And then I would have said, well, Finn Balor, he poked the bear in Seth freaking Rollins, because I can tell you, he's not going to forget this, and he's going to want to beat the what out of Finn Balor.
Absolutely. I would not have mind to play that off. I would not have mind to play that off. I was like, that was 7 years in the making there, Bullock. And you don't think for 1 second Balor has not forgotten about that? I was like, he's going to be gunning for Rollins for that world title. Rest assure you. So,
and you heard Seth Rollins later in the night when he said, "Now that's the Finn Balor that I know."
Yep.
He waited for it, and even with all that, even with that beat down there, Seth freaking Rollins, it's not going to stop Seth freaking Rollins from defending the World Heavyweight Championship tomorrow night as part of Gold Rush against Braun Breaker.
That's going to be a hell of a fight, man. I mean, I still cannot believe it. The World Heavyweight title to be defended at NXT. Michael Bullock, you are the luckiest bastard in the freaking world right about now to know that Anthony Florio's pride and joy, his baby, that World Heavyweight title, the brand new World Heavyweight title, is about to be in your building, on your show, NXT. You better thank the lucky stars that this is happening, man, because any other time, I don't think we get this.
Unreal, man. And of course, we'll have our thoughts on that Wednesday night as part of Wednesday Night Madness. So, yep. And, oh man, that's going to be something else. So, all right. Moving on. Judgment Day. Judgment Day comes onto the stage. They cut a promo from the stage, and Dominic challenged Cody Rhodes to find 2 other partners to go up against him, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest in a 6-man tag team matchup. We'll get to that in a moment. So it was just usual stuff from the Judgment Day there. So, and they got a chance to become, overtake the Bloodline as the dominant action here. If all goes well, in the bank, as we all know, Rhea Ripley is currently the women's world champion. Finn Balor has a chance to become the world heavyweight champion against Seth freaking Rollins. Damian Priest has a chance to become Mr. Money in the Bank. And Dominic Mysterio has a chance to score the biggest win of his young career against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So we'll wait and see on that. Then we had Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville squaring off against your girls, MF, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And Kaden Carter and Katana Chance win the match 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Unfortunately, nothing to really speak of there. Chance and Carter ended up getting the win in 3 minutes. Short match that barely showed off the skills of any of the women involved. What we saw was fine, but it was not nearly enough. Established stars should not be getting squashed like that. So, just a small thought. And then Cody Rhodes comes out to the stage, and has a brief interview with the lovely Kathy Kelly, and he accepted, and he all he basically did was come out to accept Dominic's challenge for the 6-man tag team matchup later in the night. And oh, by the way, the undisputed tag team champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, stepped up to be his partners. Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away. So there's your main event for the night. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Judgment Day. We'll get to that later on. By the way, I said the show was a stinker of the show. Well, now you're about to know why. Another cutout here. Indus Sher, Veer Mahan, and Sangha against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Indus Sher squashes them 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Much like the women's tag bout before it, it lasted less than 3 minutes and ended with a quick decision. Indus Sher scored the win to end a short and uneventful match. Again, nothing to speak of. So, all right. Then we had the return of Logan Paul. And, well, gentlemen, we thought we were going to have only 6 guys in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Well, make it 7. Logan Paul has been added to the Money in the Bank ladder match. MF, how do we feel about it?
All right. I hate to say this, but I think we just got our new favorite to win the Money in the Bank.
Yep.
I hate to do it, but I
Agreed.
think it's going to happen. Obviously, they're going to give it to Logan. And then the question becomes, what then? Does he go after Roman? And do we get a rematch for the Undisputed World title? Or do we get a rematch from WrestleMania and him go after Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title? Obviously, this is a bad situation. Obviously, this is going to trigger a lot of the IWC. Why is Paul in this fight? Why does he need that moment? He doesn't need that rub. He doesn't need the Money in the Bank. You should have given it to Damian Priest. You could give it to LA Knight. They deserve it more. So you know automatically the gripes is going to come out. They're going to come out. So fair or not fair, was this a Vince call? Was this more Vince than Papa H? Did Vince get involved in this one? Or was it Hunter? Did Hunter just roll the dice on this? I don't know. I don't know. Because you know Hunter does like Logan Paul. He's very high on him. So maybe this was Papa H, saying, you know what? I'm going to pull a McManaman move. I'm going to insert you in the fight. I'm going to let you get the opportunity. And if you do win Money in the Bank, we'll roll with it. So I kind of feel like this is going to be a very dangerous game that's being played right now. Because let me tell you, IWC is not going to stand for this tonight. They're not. A lot of them are going to be very pissed that Logan Paul's in it. He's got no business. Even though, look, the time that he's been in a match, he's been amazing.
Yes.
He had a great moment at the Royal Rumble. He had a great matchup with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He had an unbelievable fight with Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. Every match he's had, he's delivered. But, I don't know about this one. I don't know. This is one of those where, okay, if Logan's in it, fine. I prefer him not to win the Money in the Bank and more than anything else. If he wins it, I honestly going to admit this. If he wins it, I'm going to be very annoyed more than anything else. If he goes out there, has a great match, and doesn't come out the winner, I'm fine. I will live with it. So, what did you going to say, Anthony? I know you were going to say something.
Well, here's the thing I want to say, and I'm with you, Fletch, and I was gonna say this. You're gonna have a guest coming to the dinner table. You're gonna have to make some room because if Logan Paul does win this, watch out, because I'm gonna channel my inner phenom I'm gonna get my shovel. I'm burying somebody's ass 6 feet under because, like you said, Logan Paul doesn't need the money in the bank. He doesn't need to be in this match. I don't know about you, but I think this is more of a McMagma move.
I think so too. But then again, I think tonight's show had McMagma's fingerprints all over it. And
It felt like it, but the thing is, we don't know. We don't know if it was or not. We haven't heard any news that McMahon got involved in this show.
And then from there, what I was trying to say was Logan Paul and Ricochet are both in this match. Do we remember what happened at the Royal Rumble with those two?
Do we remember the midair collision and me screaming out, "Oh my God"? Yeah, we remember.
Which would have been your big screaming Michael Fletcher moment of that night, but that ended up going to Sammy. But if you know what I mean, but yeah, think about that for 1 second. So I'll sum it up for all of us by saying the segment served the purpose of getting Logan Paul added to the match, but the bit with Butch might have been the best part. And if Butch had done the joint manipulation on him, this is one time I would not have minded seeing it. I'll say that right then and there. So, yep. So, but the thing is, like MF said, he's a very good worker, and he does take the wrestling part of it seriously. So, we'll wait and find out. All right. Matt Riddle squaring off against Ludwig Kaiser, and Matt Riddle wins the match 9 minutes and 15 seconds. MF, we finally have a relevant match here. Matt Riddle defeating Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium. 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Could we be looking at Gunther's possible next challenger here?
Yes, I think so. I mean, what he did to Giovanni Vinci, what he did with Ludwig Kaiser, this does open the door. You took out 2/3 of Imperium. That opens the door for maybe him to go after Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship, even though I don't think he's going to win the title. But Gunther versus Riddle could be one hell of a match because of the fact that with the style of Matt Riddle, with a little bit of that MMA, high flying, of course, that cool RVD-like attitude that he has, that's going to be a great style. And then, of course, Gunther is just a wrestling machine. European style, brute force trauma in your face, and one of the most devastating chops in all of professional wrestling. I think he is without a doubt the best chopper in the world right now. We talk about Ric Flair. We talk about Paul White, a.k.a. The Big Show, having some chops. No, this guy, Gunther of Imperium, every time he hits you with a chop, I think we all kind of react in a way with the chops. It's just absolutely just devastating what he does. Devastation is all I can say it is. So nothing more to say. Yeah, this was a 3-star fight. Bullock, it's yours.
And Michael Bullock, Matt Riddle defeating Ludwig Kaiser. Hit me with it.
Bro!
Nice. 9:15.
Yeah, 3 stars. I mean, this was definitely a good match here. Riddle may have Matt Riddle may have won the match, but he lost the war because, like you said, he got beat down by Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther, and I do smell a future feud between Gunther and Matt Riddle for the Intercontinental title. So, but I do agree. Even when that match does happen, I still think Gunther's going to come out the champion. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on, Florio.
Move on to me. Second best fight of the night here. these are two athletes who can work a variety of styles. So this match had plenty to like about. The strikes were stiff, suplexes had an impact, and the transitions were smooth. There's very little to complain about other than some minor moments that are very noticeable. Riddle ended up getting the win, which was predictable, but also the right call. Kaiser and Gunther beat him down after the match. Riddle's rolling gut wrench suplexes always look good. And the way Riddle took Kaiser out of the ring by his head looked rough. Kaiser was able to land safely, but it was almost a bad bump. Solid 3 stars. Second best fight of the night here. So not much more to say on that. We move on. A lot of backstage stuff. And then we had the Alpha Academy squaring off against the Viking Raiders. Viking Raiders win the match in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Yeah, another 2-star effort here. But here's the thing. Maxine Dupree continues to improve. She suplexed Valhalla on the outside of the ring. But and then Otis celebrated with her for doing that. But unfortunately, it ended up costing Master Gable because he got squashed. So 415 for that. So that was about a 2-star effort. The feud has had its ups and downs. Match was nothing special, but it had some fun moments peppered in. Giving the Viking Raiders this win makes sense, but it would have made more sense if it was a decisive victory instead of Eric taking advantage of a situation. And that's really all there is to say on that. And then I guess we were supposed to have a match with Rhea Ripley and Natalya. And Rhea Ripley, just like she did at Night of Champions, beat the holy hell out of her. So, unfortunately, nothing really to speak of there. All right, now we got to get into this. The final qualifying match for the women's Money in the Bank match. Biggest match of her main roster career so far. Raquel Rodriguez, opportunity of a lifetime, squaring off against WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, of course, with Zoe Stark in her corner. And the winner of the match, via disqualification, 5 minutes and 55 seconds, Trish Stratus. And it was all because of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch put her hands on Trish outside the ring, and the referee, Daphne LaShawn, happened to see it. And we all know what that means, gentlemen. That's outside interference. That's grounds for a disqualification. So, Michael Bullock, we saw what happened here. Trish Stratus is now in the match, and we got 3, and we talked about it during our Raw chat here. 3 combustible elements all in one here. Becky's in there, Zoe's in there, Trish is in there. Oh boy, that should be very interesting come the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, it definitely does make it interesting. Especially now for this match, I can only give it 1 star because of the disqualification finish. But in a backstage interview with Becky Lynch, first she says regret, but then, or was it? Because this is the thing I wonder, guys. Did Becky Lynch intentionally get Raquel Rodriguez disqualified just to get Trish Stratus into the match, just so she can get her hands on her? Not just her, but Zoe Stark as well? Florio, I know you and I talked about it, but what do you think?
I kind of think I think she meant to do that because we all know she wants to get her hands on Trish Stratus. She has not forgotten about Saudi Arabia and the Night of Champions. But the thing is, she's not going to have Trish all to herself because remember, she's got to deal with Zoe Stark in there. You also have to deal with Io Sky. You got to deal with Zelina Vega. And as of now, you'll also have to deal with Bayley, but that might be Shotzi because of that little match that we're going to see on Friday night.
That could be the case. And Fletch, what about you? What do you think? Do you think Becky did it on purpose or not?
I kind of feel like she got the. I think she let the emotions get a little too much. I think she accidentally caught like for her to throw that match and for that to happen. That's unfair to Roxanne. I mean to Raquel. I feel like Raquel definitely got screwed over here tonight. And if I'm Big Mommy Cool, I'd be pissed right now for what happened. I don't think it was really. I think Becky kind of. I think she lost her head more than anything else. I think she let the emotions get ahead of her. And the thing was, she was going after Zoe, and then Trish just grabbed her to try to stop her, and she just went and threw her right into the barricade. So, I mean, I think she just lost her head for a moment. And the problem is, the one who got victimized by this was Raquel because that led to a disqualification. Trish got into Money in the Bank, and now Raquel is on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to feel for Big Mommy Cool because this was a huge opportunity for her to be in this, and then to all of a sudden have it taken away from her because of the situation with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch and Zoe Stark. Kind of, I would not want to be anybody that's in Big Mommy Cool's way because she might throw that what is it you call, Fletch, that kind of temper that she has.
Oh, that Latina temper?
That's what I was trying to think of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to be in her way when she has that Latina temper, because, yeah, that's all I'll say on that. So it's yours, Florio.
I'm going to be a little more generous on this. I'll give it between 2 and 2.5. I'll tell you, it ended up being longer and slightly more competitive than expected. It wasn't a standout match from either competitor, but it's always good when something exceeds expectations, even if they are low. Becky Lynch showed up and took out Zoe Stark. Trish attacked her, and she ended up getting Raquel disqualified when she hit Trish back. Might not be an exciting ending, but it protects Raquel Rodriguez in defeat and kept all of the appropriate feuds going in the right direction. Zoe Stark is legitimately intimidating. It's great to see WWE putting her in a high-profile spot alongside Trish Stratus right away. The way Rodriguez shook Stratus around with the definition of ragdolling someone, you know, I kind of had flashback in China when she did that to Terry Reynolds, Marlena, when China first came to WWE back in early '97. Definitely had that feel of it. And the way Trish folded in half after taking a clothesline was such a great sell. 2 to 2.5 for this effort here. So not much more to say. MF, quick thought on the match. Trish Stratus going to Money in the Bank. You know, never been done before. I mean, yes, it started when it was still there, but remember, it was only men. We didn't get the women's side until 17, but here we are. Trish, another accolade to add to her Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah, it's a like I said, it was a fine match. It was a good battle. It was a very good fight, and it's gonna be exciting to see. But dude, it like I said, it ended up being a raw deal for her at the end. But you know, at the end of the day, we'll wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, it was really good. Solid match. Really nothing more to add. Like I said, 2.5. And Anthony, move on.
All right. Just checking on more backstage stuff from there. Shinsuke Nakamura squaring off against Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed wins the match in roughly 8.5 minutes. This was the third best fight of the night here. Just checking here. All right. A little convoluted, but it did a good job advancing the storyline with all three men. Ricochet also got involved on this. Reed can get some good height on his vertical jump, especially for a guy his size. Nakamura took an extra second to set up the sliding German suplex, which was smart because he didn't want to risk not sliding far enough and ending up under Reed when he hit the mat. Even being as big as Reed is, it will always be impressive to see someone lift another human being up with one arm to slam them. And the way Ricochet dodged Reed and used the chair to send Nakamura back at him was great. This was another. I would probably say this was about a 2.5 to 3 star match, leading towards around the 2 to 3 star mark. This was definitely the third best fight of the night here. So, not much more to say here. MF Bronson Reed defeating Shinsuke Nakamura with the tsunami in 8.5.
Yeah, no, solid match. About another 2.5, like you said. Look, he just took out a guy that's going to be a part of the Money in the Bank, and did it in a pretty good fashion. That starts to make you wonder, did WWE make a mistake not putting this guy in Money in the Bank? But then again, what kind of ladder are you going to use for a guy like Bronson Reed to climb up that stupid ladder, for heaven's sake? You're going to need the big boy ladder. That super size ladder that they use for the Big Show and for Mark Henry, for
That's what I
heaven's
was about
sake.
to say.
Yeah.
Get that Big Show ladder ready.
Because that's what you're probably going to need it. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Look, it's a solid match. It's a 2.5 star fight. No more for me to say. Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock, are you there? All right. Okay. All right. There's Bullock.
Yeah.
Bronson.
Sorry about that. What did you give it?
I gave it about 2 3/4, 3. MF gave it about 2.5, but whatever it was roughly 8.5.
I'll give it 2.5 to 2 3/4. I mean, yeah, nice win for Bronson Reed. I mean, and like you said, I mean, did WWE make a mistake by not putting him in the Money in the Bank ladder match? I mean, I really don't know, but yeah, I mean, either way, it's a big win for him. So there's really nothing more to say. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, and I believe this should take us to the. This should take us to the main event of the evening here. I'm just it moved up on me. So all right. Yeah. Main event. Yep, it is the main event. Cody Rhodes and the undisputed tag team champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn squaring off against all 3 members of the Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. And the winners of the match, 13 minutes and 40 seconds. The babyface team, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Cody Rhodes with the Crossroads, Damian Priest for the win. Michael Bullock, nothing left to say here except far and away the fight of the night here.
Yeah, far and away, this was definitely the fight of the night here. I'll definitely give this about maybe 3.5 stars on this one. I mean, this was a solid main event here, a good way to close out this edition of Raw. I mean, no surprise the face team went over on this one, so there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Fight of the night here, no question about it. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Entertaining match with some great moments involving all 6 competitors, but Rhea Ripley's presence at ringside was definitely a distraction in both good and bad ways. They did a great job of addressing multiple feuds at once while still keeping the focus on the match in front of us. After a long back and forth battle, Cody scored the win with Crossroads on Damian Priest and the show and send the crowd in Cleveland home happy. Throughout the night, KO had been trying to keep his anger under control. Those segments were funny and definitely worth watching if you missed the show. If Cody Rhodes' arm is actually fine, he is selling that injury more than most people would. Kevin Patrick said Dom Scarpers when he jumped out of the ring. That slang might be too European for most Americans. the way Ripley celebrated after taking down Sami Zayn was hilarious, and Damian Priest sold the disaster kick beautifully, as it was called the beautiful disaster many years. But 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4, far and away the fight of the night. No question about it. So, MF, your thoughts on our 6-man main event?
Fine main event, really good matchup. 3.5 stars for me as well. It was really good because all the guys shined in this matchup. Cody definitely looks like his arm is getting better by the week. Just to give him the limited action, he looks like he should be fine for whatever happens down the line. Balor looks strong. Priest looks strong. I think everybody really really did their part really well, and they're also trying to play about that friction between, not really the friction, but kind of the ticking time bomb that is Kevin Owens. But so far, he's kind of kept it even keel. There's been hints or moments where it looked like something's about to go wrong, but it's not. It hasn't hit yet. So fine for what it was worth. Solid main event. Like I said, 3.5 and nothing more to say. So yeah, Anthony, let's move on.
Yep, and it's time for the overall review. And like I said, if I'm going to be honest with you, this had the feel of a McMagma show here tonight. The show's strong with Finn Balor attacking Rollins and the unadvertised return of Tommaso Ciampa. But it was pretty routine the rest of the way, aside from the newsworthy announcement of Logan Paul being added to the Money in the Bank match and the final women's qualifier with Trish Stratus defeating Raquel Rodriguez. We did have some. The main event was definitely the fight of the night. And then I probably would say second best was probably the Riddle and Kaiser, and then rounding out the top 3 would be Bronson Reed and Shinsuke Nakamura. 3 solid matches, 1 solid but not overly spectacular match in terms of the Trish and Raquel match. A lot of cutouts here tonight, so it was a middle of the road kind of show. This was about a 5 to 5.5. One of the worst Raws we've had in some time, and they obviously feel that now that they don't have any competition right now, they feel like they can get away with this stuff here. And bottom line, this was not. I don't think this was a Papa H show tonight. I think this was a McMagma show, if more than anything else. So, middle of the road, 5.5. Your thoughts?
I was gonna say, I can go about the 5.5. I totally agree with it. There wasn't anything that was really amazing about the show. Like you said, there was a few good moments, but that was really it. Just a couple of good moments. Nothing really stood out. Nothing I really would have said, "Oh my God, this is amazing," or "This was great." No, unfortunately, it was lackluster and not really, and even average at best. And I'm just being practical. I'm trying to be as very honest and very good about it, but yeah, it's not good at all. So there's really nothing more to add here. So it's pretty bad. So Michael Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, 5 to 5.5 for me as well. This definitely had the feel of a show that was run by McMagma here. Unfortunately, I really hope that come next week, especially since this is the go home to Money in the Bank edition of Monday Night Raw, that'll be much better. So, yeah, very disappointing. 5.5. It's yours, Florio.
All right, let's let me get into the Tony Steak here. The traditional Tony Steak is back, and all right, we're back to reviewing Impact Wrestling and NXT Love for a little bit. So we started with Impact Wrestling. from the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio. And we started it off with the Motor City Machine Guns, the new World Heavyweight Champion, Alex Shelley, along with the new X Division Champion, Chris Sabin. You know, they cut a great promo, and then it was interrupted. And then it was interrupted by Nick Aldis. And then Trey Miguel comes out, Kenny King, Sheldon Jean come out, Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, Jay Vidal, Trinity, Deonna Purrazzo. So much craziness here. And then Santino Marella comes out and makes a very unique event here. A 10-person tag team matchup. On one side, you have Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Nick Aldis, Deonna Purrazzo, and Trinity. That's a hell of an all-star team right there. And on the other side, you had Kenny King, you had Sheldon Jean, you had Trey Miguel, you had Giselle Shaw, and Savannah Evans. So that was the purpose of that segment. So nothing more to say on that. Then we had Moose squaring off against Rick Swann, and Rick Swann wins the match, 17 minutes and 32 seconds. These two are going back and forth, and as usual, power versus speed works well. It also helps to have that much extra time, allowing them to get things going more than usual. At the same time, it's a little strange to see Moose get pinned clean, though I could go with more of Swann getting a single split, one of those recently untapped resources that Pac has. And Bully Ray cut the promo, interrupted by Steve Moore, and an interesting match comes out of this. Slammiversary will team up with Steve Macklin to take a PCO Scott D himself. Now that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that plays out. We had Decay going up against ABC in 308. I would have liked to have seen more, but that's the case. As that's the case with most matches with the club these days. They really have gone into the area of being a great team, which is more than I was expecting when they were put together. Shorter than it should have been, as Decay can put on a good match when they're given the chance, which isn't the case in a match that barely breaks 3 minutes. Could only give this about one and a half, really. And then from there, the big 10-person tag. And it was the babyface team that wins the match in 18 minutes and 38 seconds. Long match, and at the end of the day, all that mattered was getting Alex Shelley a win. Shelley got his big moment at the pay-per-view, and he gets a pin as champion here. The Trinity Purrazzo match is already set, though adding Shaw in wouldn't be a crazy idea given what they've been doing. At the same time, another Miguel Sabin match, maybe in something like Ultimate X, would fit in nicely at Slammiversary as well. All in all, there was a lot going on here, but it could all be setting up things for later. This was about a 3.5-star match. Same with the Swann and Moose match. The Club and Decay match, that was, like I said, 1.5. But it was the fight of the night here. After the match was over, Nick Aldis turns heel. Nick Aldis attacks Alex Shelley after the match. So now at Slammiversary, Alex Shelley will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Nick Aldis. And turning Nick Aldis heel for this, it was definitely the right call, because he's much better as a heel than as a babyface. We all know that, dating back to his Magnus days. So that made that match even more interesting. So 7 out of 10. They went in a rather different direction here with some long talking segments and only 3 matches. A lot of TV time given to the matches, and there were 10 people in the main event, but it was like bunching several things together in some big lumps, hoping that this isn't the new norm, as it's not bad, but it's not as good as it was before. Go with more acting and less talking, and as it suits Impact a lot better. The Machine Gun era is up to an okay start, but they might be going in a shaky direction. So this was about a 7 out of 10. Thursday night on Impact Wrestling this week, OVE, Sami Callihan, Jake Crist, and Madman Fulton will go up against the Good Hands and Brian Myers in a 6-man tag. Khan and Angels of the Design against Jonathan Gresham and Speedball Mike Bailey. Taylor Wilde goes one-on-one with Killer Kelly. And Bully Ray and Steve Macklin will take on Eddie Edwards and Frankie Kazarian. So that'll be on Thursday night. So check that out. 8 p.m. over on Access TV. Of course, 8:30 for those of you who have the YouTube Insider membership, and then of course 10 p.m. when it gets immediately uploaded over to Impact Plus once the show's over. So that was a 7 out of 10. Let's quickly get into NXT Level Up, and then we'll call it a night here. Lola Vice and Electro Lopez teamed up against Danny Palmer and Taylani Jordan. Lola Vice and Electro Lopez in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Lopez just looks to be a step above the other three in this match, but that makes sense based on where each is at in their careers and Level Up at this point. Super basic match and seemed to rush in the end, only half a star. Boa versus Bryson Montana. Boa in 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Not much to this one either, as Montana got some work and got to show off a little bit before Boa put him away. Kind of a styles clash, but it's nice to see Montana back and good for Boa getting back in the win column. 1 star. Main event was Channing Stacks Lorenzo against Javier Bernal, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo in 6 minutes and 55 seconds. Solid match, but again, it followed similar formula to all the other matches, with someone getting beat most of the match and then getting flurried to a quick finish. 1.5 stars. 5 out of 10. Not the best show. Everything was rushed and kind of the same. Main event was okay as they got the most time, obviously. The winners all made sense, however. And as always, it's still an easy 25-minute show to watch. Win some, lose some. And after the solid outing the previous week, that one didn't really hit the mark. So that was about a 5 out of 10. So with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. MF, I'm sure it's the same time for the shows this week as always.
Same time for the shows as this week as always. Yeah, no changes as of right now. I did want to say something quickly.
Sure.
I found some breaking news.
Okay.
From Impact Wrestling.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know about this, but
no, I don't.
Moose just
yes, Moose. Yes. Moose has re-signed with Impact Wrestling. Yes.
Yes.
I heard.
So all right.
It just came up in my notifications here. So I got the notification. So yes, indeed. Moose, like MF said, Moose has re-signed with Impact Wrestling. Absolutely. So that's a big get for them because
it wasn't just any. Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on, Florio, because you're kind of glossing over something. I don't know if you read the fine print.
I missed the fine print.
Longest contract in Impact Wrestling history.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big. So let's just say, in the immortal words of The Undertaker, to steal something from Michael Bullock, lots of years, lots of zeros.
Haha, I remember that.
That's all I'm going to say there. So,
wow.
Apparently, it is the longest deal in Impact Wrestling history that will likely, where he will probably retire in Impact Wrestling. So,
wow.
It looks like it might be a 10. I don't know, like, how old Moose is right now. So if you're talking something like that, that might be somewhere between the 7 to 10 year range. Like, I'm talking maybe a 7 to 10 year deal for Moose.
He's 39.
So 39. And they're saying it's the longest deal. I mean, I wish I knew. I wish I had I wish we knew the particulars of this deal. But if that's the case, maybe he got a Tom Brady deal. Maybe until 45. I mean, we're talking about maybe 6, 7 years, 7 to 10 years. I mean, they're talking about him possibly that this contract will take him all the way up to retire, that he could retire in Impact Wrestling. I'm thinking 7 to 10 years, Anthony. I think this is a big contract.
When you hear long term, I mean, and you look at the work he's done. I mean, former world heavyweight champion, held it for 182 days, losing it to Josh Alexander at Rebellion 2022. So, and look at the great match he just had with Rich Swann last week on the show. So, which was a good 3.5 to 3, which was almost a 4-star match if you really think about it. So, but that is indeed big news there. So we wish Moose the very best, and we'll see what happens with him. So so let's set the table for our content this week. Wednesday night, 10:30 over on MF's channel, Race Fantasy 5. We have Wednesday night match hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher, as we will have, as always, the NXT. It's part 1 of NXT Gold Rush. It's a 2-week special. So week 1 will be tomorrow, week 2 the following week. So we'll recap week 1, which features the big World Heavyweight title matchup with Seth freaking Rollins and Braun Breaker. And then we got AEW Dynamite. We'll also get into that on Wednesday night. Thursday night, TXN Sports World. We don't have much of a docket right now. A big trade, however, did go down in the NBA. We'll give you the schematics of that detail, and we will also preview. And then here's the thing: MF will have week 1 of the big 3, because the big 3 is supposed to start this weekend. So MF can set the table for week number 1 of the big 3. And then in our main event, barring anything else that gets added, we will preview the USFL playoffs. We have the USFL playoff matchups. They are set. So the semifinal matchups, we'll get into that, and that's really all we have for this upcoming week. And then from there, Saturday night, of course, the all new Saturday night edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher, 10:30 Saturday night. And you know how we do it: Friday night SmackDown, and of course AEW Collision. So we'll see if they can follow it up with another banger show. So we'll find out, as that will serve as the go home show for Forbidden Door. And I will also be previewing the Forbidden Door pay-per-view on that show too, Saturday night. Excuse me. Yeah, so I believe we'll also be previewing the Forbidden Door. And let's also not forget, we also have the RWA show coming up this weekend. Big RWA show. Special Olympics.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, we might have to stretch this sucker out a little bit. I don't know. I feel like
maybe Forbidden Door on Wednesday night.
Maybe doing that, or maybe we just do the preview shows on Friday and then go from there. I don't know. This is where we might have to do the Friday, Saturday thing. So I'd probably say let's do Forbidden Door and the, what was the other event? No, well, actually, no. Then we should probably, we'll be fine with the shows. We'll be fine with Saturday.
So you want to do SmackDown, Collision, and the previews of RWA and Forbidden Door?
Yes.
Do it all on Saturday night?
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's good for me. So there you have it. Saturday night, loaded show. As it will be Friday night, our reviews of Friday night SmackDown and AEW Collision, and then we'll preview the RWA show, as that will be earlier in the day, and then we'll close it out with our preview of Forbidden Door. So that will be on Saturday, and then we'll go from there. So, and then next week is Money in the Bank week, gentlemen. So get ready for that. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, in spirit, always and forever, the first lady of our show, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, watching for style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you and beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.